you understand?
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
There's just not enough people are willing to take the risk. It's just sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now. He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Seem that way. I'm reading between the lines. I'm searching for the signs hidden in this endless day. It's nothing more than fine. Well, I'm just taking mine before it turns into oh no, oh no, oh fine. It's nothing more than I'm just taking mine before it turns into it's just a nicer word for taking all your words and throwing it away. It's just a nicer way to show the price you pay when you throw it all away. Fine, it's nothing more than time. Well, I'm just taking mine before it turns into showing me my place, taking payment for my stay. It's just another way, it's just another day, so I dream it away. Fine, it's nothing more than time. Well, I'm just taking mine before it turns into
Friends, the time for mediocrity and broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock, online at tonyjones.org, facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Of course, I ask you to go to rifreeradio.org for all of your web entertainment needs. Great to be back here with you, and thank you for everybody that checked in, because it's been a few weeks. So last week we had a snowstorm. The week before that I had the plague. And the week before that I had a gig down at the Midway Cafe in Boston. And so we've probably one of the longer lapses we've taken here on the Tony Jones Show. You know that as a full supporter of independent media, one of the most important things about independent media is consistency. So I try to consistently put out a show. But you know, this time of year, it's just tough to leave the house on the regular basis. But it was great to see so many people checking in, asking where the hell we were. Now, I'm assuming they just assumed that I was dead, but you know, people wanted to know why we weren't on the air. So it was great to hear from everybody. I do have some music on tap in just a little bit from the show I played at the Midway Cafe. It was, you know, one of those daytime matinee shows The Nymphadels played, of course, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3, the legendary Johnny Earthquake, and I got to meet for the first time a band called Impending Reflections. They were kind enough to give me their album Kindred, so we're going to have a double shot of some Impending Reflections in just a few. We're going to talk about Terracon, which we will be attending next week here at Rhode Island Free Radio. I'll be there. DJ Psycho Eddie will be there. George Garner will be there at his own table. Rhode Island Free Radio's own Chuckles the Clown will be there. So it's going to be a big weekend, and in my opinion, a more laid-back convention, kind of something for the fans, not as commercial as some of the bigger Comic-Cons. So I think it's going to be a hell of a weekend, a two-dayer for us. And I want to dedicate this show to a man who passed away this week because he was one of my favorite professional wrestlers as a kid, George the Animal Steele. I'm reading an article right now. I just shared it at Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show that George the Animal Steele lived for his gimmick. Now, if you're not familiar with George the Animal Steele, his gimmick was an animal. So he was not exactly in the best of shape, which is something that I could relate to as a wrestling fan. And he would come out with a green mouth. He would tear up the wrestling ring. He was all hairy. You know, a lot of professional wrestlers shave up and they oil up. Not George the Animal Steele. He was a man's man, and he would go out after the shows and stay in character as the animal, just out and about in town and just go nuts. Now, pretty much a genius when not in character, when not the animal. He had his master's degree. He did some teaching for a while. He came up in academia, came up in football, but when he hit that gimmick, he hit that gimmick. And so we're going to dedicate today's show to George the Animal Steele, one of my favorite professional wrestlers. And it seems like just about every few weeks I roll up to this microphone and have to talk about one of my favorite professional wrestlers as a kid who is now pushing up daisies. It gets depressing after a while, Eddie.
Actually, I was just going to make a comment. This is part of getting old. When you start looking in the newspapers, and you're starting to see the people you looked up to.
A lot of familiar faces
are now stepping aside and passing on. It's kind of rough. But I'm not going to wax poetic on this. I got to give my tonsils a chance to warm up. That's all. It's been a few weeks for me too.
That's
as well.
true. You also had the plague. We had quite the snowstorm last week. I tried to make it down to the studio, and I realized that I should probably just turn around and head back home, lest I die.
That is proof how dedicated you are to your medium, your media.
I at least tried, yeah.
I have the biggest four-wheel drive Chevrolet has put out. GM, the only thing bigger than what I have is a Hummer, a military surplus vehicle.
Not the other kind of Hummer.
Those can get pretty big. Now, I live less than a mile away from the studio.
If I had enough Narragansett, I could probably pee on your house from the studio here.
I've done it. and I refused to come out in the snow.
You didn't want to put your life on the line.
You hopped into what I have effectively dubbed the white loser cruiser, and we're trying to make it a 15, 18-mile journey through the white blinding snowstorm.
And I'm due for an inspection on the car, so being the cheap bastard that I am, my tires are like down the baloney skins, and I'm just waiting for my inspection. I'll do it all at once, so yeah, even just pulling out of the driveway, I almost died trying to get down here. Let's get back to the music. Our friends at Victory Records were kind enough to send over the current sampler, which it's the summer sampler. I know, that's a little pushing it a little bit, but if you drop us a line, I can get you a copy, or you can go to victoryrecords.com/sampler. A bunch of great music on there, and I want to kind of go through the whole sampler for the next few weeks. So we're going to start off with a double shot from said sampler. These are the High Hopes. This track is The Call Out. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show. Coming out of 2 from the Victory Records Summer Sampler, which you can drop us a line at facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on Twitter at Tony Jones NRI, or go to rifreeradio.org or tonyjones.org. Click on the contact page. I'd love to give you a copy of the download card, or it's probably easier just to go to victoryrecords.com/sampler and check that out. You just heard Save the Lost Boys, Nothing Real Outside, the name of that one. And the last time we chatted, I brought you into the High Hopes, the Call-Out. You were tuned in to the Tony Jones Show. As I mentioned a few weeks back, we were off the air because Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 was playing a matinee show, and it was down at the Midway Cafe in Boston, and it interfered with the our time here that we're normally on the air, but it was worth it. It was great to see a bunch of folks from the Boston area I don't get to hang out with that much, and it's always great to see Johnny Earthquake and the Nymphadels. Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 started off the night. Got to meet and see Impending Reflections for the first time. They were kind enough to hand me their latest album called Kindred. And we're going to have a double shot from Impending Reflections up next for you, starting off with House of Gables. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show.
In a minute you will understand what it is I'm about to tell you. It's a holy command. You'll try to deny it, but you'll keep coming in to the realm of sin. It's our only intent. You keep around. You keep around. You understand.
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
There's just not enough people are willing to take the risk. It's just sort of a herd mentality. I mean,
your kind of love make a damn and rain for a girl like you. I crawl out of my grave, my blood runs hot, but my lips are cold. So you better get your forks and stones. I came back for you, baby. You know the devil he made me. He started and took me, but you know that I just do. We'll wear a black and dress in white and make up feel the love tonight. A pendulum dangles from a wind. The flames are there. Our love will fail. I came back for you, baby. You know the devil he made me. He started me taking you. You know that I just do. Well, your kind of love make a damn man rave for a girl like you. I crawl out of my grave, a pendulum dangle from my hand. The flames are there. You know I love will fail. 'Cause I came back for you, baby.
Live radio, folks, that's how we do it here on the Tony Jones Show. What you just heard was a double shot of AdapterAdapter Redeemer, the name of that one. Then before that, I'll Be Damned. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show. Now, I want to try, as I mentioned, live radio here, so I want to try to go back to the Impending Reflections track, which wouldn't play because they're back up on my playlist, but I have no idea if they're actually going to work. So what you might be hearing next is a double shot of Impending Reflections, the album Kindred. Hopefully you heard it here first on the Tony Jones Show.
And second.
In a minute you will understand what it is I'm about to tell you. It's a holy command. You'll try to deny it, but you'll keep coming near to the realm of sin. It's our holy intent. children he made will define his final day.
Yes, we did, in fact, just come out of a double shot from Impending Reflections, who I had the opportunity to check out and play a gig with a few Sundays back at the Midway Cafe in Boston, Massachusetts. Impending Reflections, the name of the band, the name of the album Kindred. Impending Reflections, the name of the track you just heard. Then before that, we heard House of Gables, a double shot of Impending Reflections right here on the Tony Jones Show. About halfway through the show, so I'd like to mention if you go to TonyJones.org, click on the contact page, or RIFreeRadio.org and click on the contact page. Get in touch with us if you'd like to be in studio, or if you have some music to send our way. That's how you get in touch. Now, on Friday, I was covering the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame press conference for two other media outlets, so I guess I had better talk about it here on the Tony Jones Show. Big congratulations, Artie Cabral, Phil Green, Billy Osborne, Plan 9, RZA, Throwing Muses, the Wild Turkey Band, but of course the one that I want to mention, big congratulations go out to Neutral Nation, and I mentioned it on another radio station the other day, but I was just about to poke at the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame on the fact that a punk band hasn't been inducted yet. I bit my tongue, and sure enough, I go to the press conference on Friday, and there's a punk band getting into the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame. So for once, I actually bit my tongue, and for once, it actually worked out for the best. But 35 years of playing punk rock, Neutral Nation. Now, punk rock as a genre has only been around for, what would you say, Eddie, maybe about 35, 40 years. Yeah. So, I mean, I have to give all the credit in the world to Neutral Nation, and of course, famously doing a punk rock cover of the Rocky Point theme song. I mean, it does not get any more Rhode Island than that. And they're going to be right around the corner here.
That's right. On March 10th, they're going to be at Borowski's Cafe. They're doing their annual St. Patty's Day matinee. Kicks off, I believe, at noon. I don't have the facts in front of me.
And ends when the police show up.
Well, no, it continues after the police show up. They turn it down just a little. And I have not missed this event since it started. I think this is the 10th year they've done it. I've actually left a funeral early.
Now that's commitment to St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I told people I was going to be there. And sure enough, I was still dressed in my dress clothes, black shirt, black tie. I walked into Borowski's, which is a little bit smaller than the office that we're in right now,
yeah.
If you can imagine that. And it is literally butt to nut.
Yep. People outside if it's nice. Yeah.
And somehow they managed a mosh pit in the middle. It was absolutely amazing. Every year I go, I just see more and more interesting, and it's worth it.
I remember
check it out.
I remember showing up to a gig there, and we were the first band on, and they said, hold on a second. They pushed the pool table out of the way, and that was the stage for us to set up on. I mean, talk about, people talk about going to a show, and maybe it's a little bit pretentious, maybe it's a little hoity-toity. Not this show.
This is definitely on the lowbrow side, but fun. And the scary part is, when you look in the crowd, it's like a who's who of the local music scene.
Right, especially in the punk metal genre.
Well, I mean, just all the way around. I mean, bartenders from bars that you can't even talk to them when they're working. They're too good to make you a drink.
Right.
You look over your shoulder, and there she is.
Throwing up.
Exactly. You're holding her hair as she's puking. I've made some great friendships there, might I say.
Just to circle back, Rhode-IslandMusicHallOfFame.com, and it's actually worth checking out. The Hall of Fame space itself is pretty cool. It's Main Street in Pawtucket, of course, the same building as where Rhode Island Food Fights has a lot of events, and the same building as the Met. And yes, there is an actual physical Hall of Fame with the, that you can go and check out. So it's all nonprofit, and it's great to see the local bands highlighted. Some stuff that I'm not really into, but I mean, when a band like Neutral Nation gets in, I have to support all day long. Switching gears just a little bit now before we talk about Terracon in a few seconds. If you go to rifreeradio.org, click on the blog page. I had the chance to interview this next band a few weeks ago. If you haven't checked it out yet, the blog is still up. Of course, it's all up in perpetuity. You can listen to Tony Jones Show #1. You can listen to My Night Out Radio #1. And then you can listen to, the latest shows. It's all up there at rifreeradio.org. We're going to hear from Knee-High Fox up next. A little creepy music on tap for you. It's light as a feather, stiff as a board. A little Knee-High Fox. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Touch me hard, hold the grudge, you think that I'm not strong enough.
Now, I'm sure you're all sick of hearing me talk about how much I love the release Trick or Treat by the unfortunately now defunct band 1031, but I gotta say, I love the release Trick or Treat by the now defunct band 1031. We were never the track you've just heard. Then before that, what I say week after week is my favorite band, my favorite track from 1031, I Will Not Drown, a band that was in studio a few months back, live with us, and just a fantastic release from those guys, I Will Not Drown, one of my favorites off that. As I look at the clock, amazingly, we're starting to run out of time, but I have to talk about where we will be in just 5 days' time. It's Terracon. Go to theterracon.com. Look for the Tony Jones Show table. Swing by, talk to myself, DJ Psycho Eddie, George Garner. At his own table, the Chuckles and Laughs table, you can see Rhode Island Free Radio's own Chuckles the Clown. He'll be there. Looking forward to some of the bigger name guests and some of the panels that are going to take place. But I got to say, I'm also equally excited to see the Tom D'Agostinos and the Keith and Sandra Johnson, Penny Dreadfuls, Ken DeCostas, Jason Mayos of the world, people that we've become friends with over the years, and they will be at Terracon representing, like I said earlier, kind of more of a laid-back convention, in my opinion, a little something for the fans, not as commercial as some of the bigger cons. Eddie, anybody there specifically you're looking forward to seeking out?
This sounds horrible and kind of doting on our listeners, but I want to see the fans.
Yeah.
People that recognize us are the ones that I want to see.
And by the way, the bigger name guests, and this has happened in the past and happens from time to time, the bigger name guests get absolutely jerked when we have a bigger line at our table or there's more excitement at a local table like our table than there is for someone from The Walking Dead or Ghost Hunters. They take it personally.
Look at what happened. What was it? Not this past Comic-Con. The Comic-Con before, we had two assistants, we'll call them, and they brought a little bit of attention to the table. Yeah. And it turns out that celebrities like Brian O'Halloran actually stopped at our table, and we had some of the cast from Sons of Anarchy directly across from us. Yeah. Had absolutely no one in line, and they came over to check over what Brian and some of these celebrities were checking out.
Unfortunately, at this convention, the only people with tits at our table will be you and I.
Well, it's not over yet. We might be able to finagle somebody.
That's true. I think we have some extra seats because, of course, we'll be Eddie and I will be covering it from the press side. We'll have George Garner kind of anchoring the tables, but I think we do have room for one or two more at the actual table. So maybe we can swing by.
Let me see if I can make a few phone calls. And by the way, if you're listening, and I'll actually probably make this announcement on my show as well, because I know I've got a few listeners there that would be easy on the eyes, I think is what I'm looking for, to attract attention to our table.
Now, at conventions, good-looking women also deflect a certain crowd from the table because they've never seen a woman before.
Well, they want to get close,
other than their
but
mother.
Not too close, so they don't have to actually talk with them or make eye contact. We call them cellar dwellers.
Or Captain Sweatpants. I love these people, but,
Oh, they are our people.
They got to speak the truth.
I am one of those people.
Right, exactly.
I literally have the Captain America T-shirt with sweatpants, and I walk around the house. I don't leave the house in it, but I am Captain Sweatpants.
One thing we haven't degraded to, though, here is being a fat guy wearing a Flash T-shirt. That's just not funny. Unless you're talking about flashing into some chicken wings, that's just not funny.
I prefer the term irony.
Well, we are just about out of time. Of course, go to Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show. On the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones, RIFreeradio.org, TonyJones.org. In just a few weeks' time, the actual weekend after Terracon, Tony Jones and the Cretan Three, along with the McGunks and our great friends, the Nymphadels, will be supporting a band called the Sheckies. So if you're not familiar with the Sheckies, your homework from this week's Tony Jones Show is to go on YouTube and type in the Sheckies. Check these guys out. They're going on a huge tour with a new release called I'm on a Diet Now. And we'll be opening up for them in a few weeks' time. And the man booking that show is Mike Worm from Reckless Records. He's going to join us in studio. And then the week after that, legendary Rhode Island band Jody Jolt in the Vault, not only in studio, but playing acoustic for us here. So hope you can check those shows out. It's going to be a blast going into the season. So to talk about Mike Worm coming in, we're going to have a double shot of his band Worm, which is also on Reckless Records. We played it here before when he's in studio, and everybody seems to dig it. So a double shot of Worm to end this week's Tony Jones Show, starting off with Our Roots. Bye, everybody. Bye.